Hey everyone, and welcome to this deep dive. We're going to be looking at how companies are using tech to completely change how they handle maintenance.
Yeah, it's a super interesting area,
I mean, a lot of companies are, kind of stuck doing things the old way.
and that can be really costly.
Oh, absolutely. Just think about it. When something breaks down, like in a factory or a power plant,
Oh, yeah.
it's a huge deal.
Yeah, it can bring everything to a halt.
Right,
You
yeah.
get delays, you lose production, there are safety risks.
Totally. It all hits the bottom line.
Yeah,
So that's where this whole idea of digital maintenance comes in, right?
right.
And we've got some really cool material here from Sigga Solutions. They're saying they're leading this whole movement.
Yeah, they're definitely a big player. They offer all sorts of tools to help make maintenance run smoother.
Yeah.
They've got this platform, Sigga Empower,
Okay.
and then they have another one called Sigga Planning and Scheduling.
So EAM. I know that means enterprise asset management,
Mhm.
but for those of us who aren't, engineers, what does that actually mean, like day to day?
Basically, it's all about keeping track of all the physical stuff a company has.
Right.
Could be machines, vehicles, even buildings, really anything.
Okay, so it's like instead of having tons of spreadsheets
Oh, yeah.
and paper records everywhere,
Exactly.
everything's all together
Yeah. And everyone can see the same information.
at the same time.
Right. Real time. You can see what needs work, when, see the history of repairs, even predict future problems.
Wow.
Yeah.
That sounds way better than what a lot of companies are doing now. I'm picturing like dusty filing cabinets and
Oh, yeah.
people running around with clipboards.
It's surprising how many companies are still stuck with all that.
Hmm.
Like manual processes and paper. It's amazing how much time and money gets wasted just trying to keep track of things.
I know. So it seems like Sigga is saying it's not just about the tech itself, it's also about changing how people think about maintenance.
Yeah, that's huge. They talk a lot about mixing technology with what they call change management.
So what does that actually look like?
It's about getting everyone on board, you know, training them on the new systems,
Right.
making sure everyone understands how this new approach will benefit them.
So you're not just like throwing new software at people and saying, figure it out.
Right, exactly. You got to bring people along. Explain why we're doing this.
Make them feel comfortable.
Yeah, exactly.
Makes sense. And speaking of making things easy to use,
Yeah,
let's talk about this mobile first thing Sigga's into.
I think they're really onto something there. They're recognizing that people today, especially younger techs, they're used to doing everything on their phones.
Oh, for sure. So it's about meeting people where they are,
Yeah, exactly.
not forcing them to use some, clunky old system.
Right. Like if you can give a technician everything they need,
Right.
work orders, manuals, whatever,
Right there on their phone.
right in the field, huge productivity boost.
It's not just about making it easier for the technicians, though, is it?
No.
I'm guessing all this data they're collecting on their phones is giving companies a much better understanding of what's happening out there.
Oh, absolutely. Real-time insights. You can spot potential problems
Yeah.
before they turn into big breakdowns. Make smarter decisions.
Sigga says one of their customers saved like over 900 hours
Wow.
per technician
Per year.
just by going mobile.
Yeah.
How is that even possible?
Think about all the time wasted going back and forth between the job site and the office,
Just to get information or fill out paperwork.
Yeah.
Oh, I see. So if they have everything on their phone,
Right.
they cut out all that travel time.
Exactly. They can also capture data more accurately,
Right.
more efficiently, because they're doing it in real time.
So those 900 hours,
Right.
it's not like they just disappear. They're turned into faster responses, better repairs, and better data for making decisions.
Right, exactly. And when you add up those savings across like a whole team of technicians,
Yeah.
the impact can be huge.
It's a strong case for going mobile.
Yeah.
But let's look at some specific examples. How are Sigga's customers actually using these tools? What kind of results are they seeing?
Let's dive into some case studies.
Okay.
They really highlight how powerful this approach can be. We have one customer here who was really struggling with paper checklists.
Oh, I bet.
Yeah, and their software was all desktop-based.
I can only imagine, especially if you're dealing with a lot of equipment or a big facility.
Oh, yeah. Well, they started using Sigga EAM Empower, gave their technicians smartphones with the app. Everything changed.
Really? Like what kind of changes?
Well, the technicians could access their work orders, log their hours, even report new problems right from the field.
No more running back to the office just to update a spreadsheet.
Exactly.
Oh.
And because they were capturing data right away, they could spot and fix problems much quicker.
That sounds like a win-win for the technicians and the company.
Absolutely. Another customer was having trouble prioritizing their maintenance backlog.
Oh, yeah.
They had a ton of stuff to do,
Right.
but no way to figure out what to tackle first.
Yeah, I can see how that would be a problem, especially if you're trying to avoid downtime.
They were doing it all manually,
Oh,
so
no.
time-consuming and easy to make mistakes.
Yeah.
But then they implemented Sigga planning and scheduling.
How did that help?
It automated everything. It ranked work orders based on rules.
Mm.
So instead of guessing, they had a system that prioritized tasks based on urgency. You know, how critical the equipment is, stuff like that.
So they could finally ditch that reactive break-fix mentality.
Exactly. They became more proactive.
Big shift in mindset.
Huge. It's about anticipating problems before they happen, making sure you're tackling the most important things first.
It makes sense. And I'm guessing this data-driven approach is also helping companies get a handle on their maintenance costs.
Oh, for sure. One of the biggest benefits is that you can finally see where your money's going.
So instead of just throwing money at every problem as it pops up, you
Right.
can start to analyze, see where you're overspending, make smarter choices about how to use your resources.
Exactly. And that can lead to big cost savings over time.
We've heard some really impressive stories,
Yeah.
but I'm curious, what are some of the challenges companies run into when they try to use these digital solutions?
One of the biggest is resistance to change. You know,
Mm.
people get used to doing things a certain way.
Yeah.
It's hard to convince them to try new things.
I can imagine that being a hurdle, especially in industries where things have been done the same way for, like, forever.
Absolutely. You need a solid plan for managing that change. Communicate with your team, provide training and support. Make sure everyone understands the benefits.
So it's not just about the technology, it's about the people.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You need everyone on board if you want to succeed.
I kind of want to pull back a bit.
Oh, you mean like the big picture?
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. I think it helps to see this whole digital maintenance thing as like part of a much bigger trend.
Okay, I like that. So what is it?
Well, it's this thing called Industry 4.0. Have you heard of that?
Yeah, I think so. It's all about like automation and smart factories, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's a pretty broad term, but basically it's about connecting physical stuff and digital systems.
Oh,
It's like we're linking machines and data and people in totally new ways.
So digital maintenance is a big part of that.
Oh, absolutely. It's about using technology to not just manage stuff, but to make it work better, to avoid downtime, and ultimately to really drive innovation.
So how do those customer stories we talked about,
Yeah.
like the companies using Sigga's platform, how do they fit into this whole Industry 4.0 thing?
Oh, they're perfect examples. Think about that customer who got way more efficient just by giving their technicians access to data on their phones.
Oh, right.
That's Industry 4.0 in action.
Because it's about giving workers the right info at the right time.
Exactly. And it's about breaking down those old school information silos that slow everything down.
And it's not just about workers, right? It's also about using data better. We talked about companies getting those real-time insights
Yeah.
and using them to make smarter choices.
Absolutely. Data is like the fuel for Industry 4.0.
Yeah.
And digital maintenance gives you the tools to not just gather that data, but to actually use it, to make real decisions, not just guesses.
It makes me think about predictive maintenance, something we touched on earlier.
Yeah,
Using data to see problems coming before they happen.
you got it. That's a total
Wow.
game changer. It's all thanks to these digital tools and sensors and, fancy analytics.
So instead of just fixing things when they break,
Yeah,
we can actually prevent them from breaking in the first place.
exactly. Imagine a world where breakdowns are super rare because you're constantly checking on your equipment, you know? Addressing any little issue before it blows up.
That sounds kind of too good to be true, like sci-fi or something.
It might have seemed like that a few years ago, but it's becoming reality. Think about, like, energy, transportation, healthcare, the ability to prevent huge failures. That's a big deal.
Right, because those don't just cost money.
No,
They can be really dangerous, too.
exactly. So predictive maintenance isn't just about saving money, it's about safety too.
And making sure those essential services keep running.
Right.
But it's not just about avoiding disasters, right? It's also about getting the most out of your stuff.
Totally. You can plan your maintenance better, minimize downtime, make things last longer.
Mhm.
It's about being proactive, not reactive.
So we're moving from break fix to predict and prevent.
Exactly. And it's happening because companies are realizing that downtime costs a lot. Not just money, but customer satisfaction too. It can hurt your reputation.
It seems like this whole shift to digital maintenance is about way more than just new technology.
Totally.
It's about changing the whole culture of a
You
company.
got it. It's about being open to learning, to adapting, to trying new things. Companies that do that and invest in their people, they're the ones who are going to do great in this new world.
Okay, so we've talked about a lot today, the good, the bad, and kind of the big picture.
Mhm.
But what does it all mean for our listener? What can they take away from this?
I think the biggest thing is that digital maintenance is here to stay. It's a totally different way of doing business. And it's about using technology to be better, save money, and stay ahead of the game.
And it's not just for the big guys, right?
Nope, not at all. Any company can benefit.
The tools are getting easier to use and less expensive all the time.
Exactly. And the sooner companies get on board, the better off they'll be.
So what's the next step for someone who's interested but not sure where to start?
I'd say do some research.
Hmm.
There are lots of solutions out there.
Yeah.
Some are specific to certain industries, some are more general. Find what fits your needs. And remember, change management is huge. Get your team involved, explain things clearly, and provide training.
It's all about teamwork.
Absolutely.
This has been a really eye-opening look at digital maintenance.
Yeah.
We've gone from specific examples to, like, the whole future of industry.
Right.
Is there anything else we should be thinking about? Any other big trends coming up?
There's always something new, right?
Yeah.
But one thing I'm really excited about is how digital maintenance can help us be more sustainable.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, companies want to be more eco-friendly, right? So digital tools can help them use resources better, create less waste, and make things last longer.
That's a whole other deep dive we could do.
Absolutely. But for now, I think we've covered a lot. Hopefully it's given you something to think about.
It definitely has. I'm feeling inspired. And maybe a little overwhelmed by all the possibilities.
I get it. But that's a good thing. This whole field is changing so fast. It's really exciting to see what's next. And who knows what amazing things are just around the corner.
Well, on that note, I think it's time to wrap things up. Thanks for joining us on the deep dive. We hope you found it insightful.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
And for everyone listening, if you could use technology to, like, magically improve one thing in your life or work, what would it be? Let us know.
Yeah.